our series Farm to Fork. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of a local Kawartha Lakes farm. I'm Chef Connie. We are going to be going to O'Brien View Farm in Cameron, Ontario. There we're going to meet Mom Pauline and daughters Grace and Christina. We're going to look over their farm. They've got some Wagyu cattle, they've got pork, chickens, and greenhouses with lots and lots of produce. We're going to bring that back, and today we're going to be making a one skillet pot pie using O'Brien View Farm's organic chicken and some thyme and some leeks. Let's get started. You're going to start with some freshly cleaned leeks. When you go to clean your leek, slice it down the middle and separate the layers and run some water through it just in case there is some soil at the bottom. So these have been cleaned. We want to start thinly slicing and getting about 2 cups of leeks. Measure out 2 cups of cleaned leeks. So you can see it took about the better part of 1 leek. So you have probably, they sell them in 3, you probably have enough to make a soup. We'll put those aside for later. This I'll put into the freezer and I can use it for stock. Don't discard this. So I'm going to take the 2 cups of leeks and set them aside. Set your oven for 400°F, and you want to get a cast iron skillet, and that's where we're going to be making this whole chicken dinner. Let's start with a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. All right, I've got my skillet on now. This is the beauty of this, is it all gets made in here. We put the puff pastry on top of this pot pie. Everything gets made in the skillet, and then you pop that into the oven. So we're going to melt the 1/2 cup of butter. To that, you're going to add the leeks. While that's melting, we're going to start with some carrots. So you want to have 2 cups of leeks and about 1 cup of finely sliced carrots. So I'm just going to cut this in a quarter. I started chopping earlier, so try to get them thin. When your butter is melted, add in the 2 cups of leeks. That's a really nice smell. And the 1 cup of thinly sliced carrots. And we're going to just let those cook until they're, just for a few minutes until they're translucent. So you can see that the leeks and the carrots are starting to cook ever so slightly. That's nice. They're simmering in that 1/2 cup of butter. So we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of flour. This is going to start creating our filling for the chicken pot pie. So we'll get that to start cooking that flour off. It's starting to mix with the butter. We're making basically a roux with our leeks and our carrots. So we'll let that cook for a bit. The next thing we're going to be adding is 2.5 cups of chicken stock. So this is all, the flour is all cooked. We're just going to add in slowly. Let the heat and the flour absorb the chicken stock. So we're making a filling with some O'Brien View Farms chicken. Now what I did is I roasted the chicken yesterday. So this is a great dish to make if you've got some leftover chicken. What I did is I roasted the chicken yesterday, I let it cool, and then I'm going to be just shredding it and using it in the pot pie. This is a day 2 or a day 3 of a roasted chicken dinner. All right, I've got the 2.5 cups of stock. We'll get everything to incorporate. It's going to start thickening. Let's just let that cook and get thick. So here's the chicken from yesterday. Now this hasn't been used for a meal. This is a whole chicken. I'm going to need about 4 cups of cold chicken. So this chicken was roasted. I did put a little bit of a rotisserie style seasoning on it, and now I'm just going to cut this up and put it into small dices and put that into the filling. That filling can start simmering, and just let it simmer gently for a few minutes while you prepare your chicken. So I have got approximately 4 cups of chicken, and we are going to add that to our gently sauteing vegetables into our filling. I'm going to add that. I'm going to get ready to add some seasonings. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Tuesdays on City TV.
We find missing people who have slipped through the cracks, and we bring them home.
We need to talk about how you figured out this location before us cops.
We all have our secrets. You kidnapped a child.
And you kidnapped a man.
I tell you what to help with, and you help with it. You can't manipulate me.
But I did. I'm your partner.
No partners. You're a monster.
Found. All new. Tuesdays, 10/9 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
So convenient to grab a carton of milk. It took over 60 years to get to this point. It sounds odd, but if you didn't have a cow in the early 1900s, you'd rely on a family farm. The Weary family farm was one of the contributors to the production and distribution of our favorite cookie companion via scoop and pail or by bottle. Then, in the 1930s, with the demand for pasteurized milk, the Weary family partnered with 10 local farmers, raising the funds required for pasteurization technology. Ideal Dairy, the building still standing, became one of the fastest growing dairy distributors and eventually the largest and only dairy in Oshawa. In time, it was sold to Beatrice, a brand we still fill our glasses with today.
Welcome back. You're watching Farm to Fork. I'm Chef Connie Powers, and today we are visiting O'Brien View Farms in Cameron, Ontario. We are bringing back one of their chickens, and today we are making a chicken pot pie with leeks and thyme. So earlier we got our filling started. So we have used some unsalted butter, some flour, some chicken stock, to make a roux, and we've added in leeks and carrots. Then we cut up one chicken, and we still have some more work to do with the chicken. So what I'm going to do, there's still meat on here, there's some bones here. I'm going to make some stock with this. I did have one of the farmers tell me that they just didn't know how to make really good stock. All you have to do is have really good chicken bones. You put that in with some cool water, salt, pepper, put in a little bit of carrots, onions, and some parsley. You've got chicken stock. Cook it for about 3 hours, and that'll be fresh stock. So we're going to now add in the rest of our filling and start constructing the pot pie. We're going to add in 4 cups of chopped chicken. This is fully cooked, and it is a great use for leftover chicken. Now you could also do this with leftover turkey, and Thanksgiving is coming. This would be something that you could do. Now, if you notice that your filling is getting a little bit thick, don't worry, we're going to be adding some cream to make that a little bit smoother and a little bit looser. So let's just get the chicken incorporated into the filling, and we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of frozen peas. To the frozen peas, we're going to add in about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Keep it out just in case your preference is to make your filling a little bit looser. We're going to add in 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. To that, you're going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. Now I had turned my heat down, so I'm going to turn it back up to start getting it to simmer again. And then add in some pepper to your preference. I'm going to probably add in about 1/2 teaspoon. Now there are things you could do with this. If you got to this point and you don't have puff pastry, I don't make my own pastry, I buy it frozen. If you don't have puff pastry, you could add in noodles and you could make this a casserole dish. But today we're going to make this pot pie with the leeks and the thyme. So we've got some fresh thyme. We're going to just sprinkle that in. You could use dried thyme if you have it, but this time of year we have fresh, and it's all starting to need picking from the garden, so take it out. So we met the O'Briens on their farm, and the thing that struck me about the farm was that they all have a job, they all have an expertise. So they don't get underneath each other's footing, they just know what to do. Mom knows what to do, and everybody has their role. And I think that is something I've seen on some family farms, and it works well. Okay, we are going to mix this in. The thyme is really adding a lot of a fall scent. Now I've just turned this up a bit. You can smell the Dijon mustard. You could also put more if that's something that you prefer. Now, it looks thick. That's okay. Now we're going to place the pastry on it. So I'm going to clear my board, and we are going to roll out the pastry and put it on the pot pie. Get it in the oven. Watch this. I've lightly floured the board. I'm going to roll this out, and we're going to be cutting it in 16 pieces so that we can start placing it on top. The thing is, you just don't want to put a solid piece of puff pastry. It will just lift. It will lift up off your filling. This gives it a little bit more design and a little bit more practical use. So let's roll it out just a little bit. So this was frozen puff pastry that I thawed. And it is, they come in packages of 2, and this is 1 package. So I'm going to just roll it out a little bit and try to keep it square. And then I'm going to cut it into squares. So we're going to make these in about 3 by 3. All have to be perfectly the same size, but you'll see our design, it'll look nice. And then we're going to start placing these around the edge. So I'm going to shut it off the heat. You don't want to put this on the heat. Make sure your oven's at 400 degrees. I'm going to start placing it around the edge. So I'm going to be overlapping. So my heat is shut off. You can see the filling is simmering, but that's just residual heat. So I've made my first round, and then I'm going to take the other rounds, I'm going to take the other squares and just start making a pattern here. And the last one goes in the middle. Now, that could be ready. I'm going to mix a little bit of an egg wash. I'm going to egg wash that, and we're going to get it into the oven. All right, they're all placed on. We're going to take it off to put on our egg wash. I used a little bit of cream. You can also use a little bit of milk. Just put a little on. That'll give us a nice golden brown when they cook. We're going to pop this in the oven, and while it's cooking, we're going to take you on the farm tour. Let's go look at O'Brien View Farm. Today we're on O'Brien View Farm with the O'Brien family. We've got mom, co-owner, co-operator Pauline, and we have got Grace, who is a daughter on the farm, and we've got Adeline Reck here, who's just kind of hiding. Why are you organic?
Because our ideology is that in order to have healthy people, you have to have healthy animals and a healthy land. So it all comes back to making sure everything is healthy and having like a good ecosystem that works together, and making sure you're not adding in things that don't need to be there, or changing what's already there. It's all just you're working with the earth and you're working with the animals and making it as simple and as
sustainable.
Yes, for certain. Yeah, yes, that exactly. A lot of learning about farming is, what other people have already figured out, and how, making it work and using it on our farm, seeing how it works with us, and
with YouTube and with TikTok and all of those things, you're able to access people's experience that way.
For sure, yeah.
The thing is, if you have a problem, you go to YouTube and you say, what do you do about this? And somebody will have. Somebody will have a.
Oh, sure, we do it all the time because something, maybe a camera's not working, and we go to it all the time. We have free free-range cattle. Is that what we call this?
Right now, they're not in pasture right now because it's still early yet. But yeah, they're going to be heading out to pasture shortly in a couple weeks, anyways. And
okay, a couple weeks they go out that way.
No, actually, we're going down the driveway first and down to the bottom pasture field.
Okay.
So yeah, we got to build some fences. This is planted grain right now, but yes, then we have a couple of pasture fields out and around that they get to go through. And
oh, so you definitely don't want them out there.
No.
They'd have a feast out there.
Yeah.
So what breed is this?
So these are a Belgian Blue is our main breed here, and they're beef cattle, and then we cross them with the Black Angus, and we just started breeding in a Wagyu as well.
Ooh, that's going to make a nice meat, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
So this is one of our breeding cows. This is Rose.
Is she delivered or about to deliver?
She's a little while yet. She was just bred just recently. She's a little behind, but yeah, so one of her...
she is pregnant now?
Yes. And then we have one of ours is due over there, Gem. She's due to calve in a couple days anyways.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see just her
yeah.
on the other side of her.
Yeah.
And does the bull belong to you?
No, we do them artificially inseminated, so we don't keep bulls here.
Well, they're really a gentle cow, aren't they?
Yes, these guys are really calm. We're with them a lot, so they're always really quiet. And
is that why that they're calm like this? Because this isn't.
Yes, we're with them all the time, and plus the Belgian Blue is it's a relatively calm breed. But yes, these guys we're around them. We work with them all the time. If there's any problems calving or anything like that, we're always very diligent with them, and so then we're with them all the time.
So this would be an organic raised cow.
Yes.
All the cows are certified organic?
So where does the consumer find your chicken meat?
Here.
Yeah.
Okay, so they come to the farm. And you sell them as whole birds, you sell them as pieces, cut up? Both, okay.
Yes, mainly whole, yes, but yeah. Yeah, so they're full grown.
All right, so what do we have here?
These are Berkshire mainly pigs, but this one's a barnyard mix. I'm not certain what breed she is exactly, but they're pork pigs, yes. We aren't keeping them for breeding or anything like that, but
These are just for meat?
Yeah.
Give us a little rundown of your season. So spring is busy. You start planting, you start calving.
Yes, and we start getting everybody out to the pasture and making sure everybody has area outside and lots of free range and everything like that.
So then summertime, we can find you at those markets selling everything.
Yep.
People can come right to this farm. And this is Cameron.
Yes.
They can come here. You're on Instagram. They can find you easily. And then they can, there's a farm tour, farm fest. Tell us about that, because that's exciting.
In October, it's usually the week after Thanksgiving, week before Thanksgiving. And then we do an open farm tour, and it's a whole bunch of farms in the area, and it's open to the public and everything like that. And we can come in, and people get to come out to the pasture and see the cows out in the grass and everything, and they can come
up close and personal.
Yes, right up. Everyone likes to bring them apples and give them some snacks, and get to pet them and everything. It's a new experience for a lot of people.
New experience. And you're a member of Kawartha Choice, aren't you?
Yes.
So that will be advertised, and there's a whole series of farms, and you're part of that.
Yes.
That's
yes,
awesome.
we have been since it started.
All right, Christina has joined us. This is the first contact I had on the farm. So this is Christina. She is a daughter of Pauline, sister of Grace, and she's brought her littles out. So we are going to go and see what Christina wants to show us now.
I run the market garden side of things. So I've got 2 greenhouses on the go, and 2 garden plots as well. So we do everything from potatoes and garlic to seasonal greens, peppers, tomatoes, everything. So. And
then this is all sold at the farm and at your farmers markets?
Yep, so we do 2 farmers markets, one in Funland Falls and one in Norland, and they're on Friday afternoons. Friday morning and Friday afternoon. And that's probably where we...
2 markets in one day?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Long day. And we also supply some of our seasonal vegetables and our beef actually into the health food store in Funland Falls, the country cupboard.
Do you find you have a lot of insects, a lot of...
Oh yeah. We try to have a happy ecosystem of just having lots of pollinators and a lot of bug life, and then they kind of even each other out in the grand scheme of things, because just having the diversity that kind of keeps everyone else in check.
This is really what you sell. This is a popular item at your farmers market.
Yeah, our green mixes definitely carry us through in the springtime until our summer crops set in, but our greens are very popular at the market. It's a good product that my customers really enjoy, so they're always coming back for more, and then they can see what other things I have throughout the season, so they're always happy to kind of divulge into our other crops.
And they need to come to this farm to see what they're buying is just like somebody's backyard. So what will go in all there? Is that
So
yours?
I've got potatoes set in here. I do a couple different varieties of kind of specialty potatoes. I've got True Blues, Pink Amarosas, German Butterballs. Ooh. Yeah, so, and they're very popular. Actually, I had a few customers at the market where they had never tried a blue potato, and I kind of talked them up and, try it out. And I have some customers that come back every year, and they're like, where do you want more blue potatoes? Because
why?
They have a great flavor, and I tell them, people kind of forget that each different variety of a vegetable has a difference to it. Often it comes through in flavor, and so once you kind of identify, like, oh, there is a difference, like, it's not just a starchy potato that you get from the grocery store. There's a big difference, is that there's a depth to the flavor. And so once my customers kind of like, oh, okay, and how would you cook it, and so I tell them, the blues are really great for roasting, and the German Butterballs are an all-purpose potato that's just really great. And so once people kind of get onto that and like, oh yeah, and they kind of explore the different realms of our specialty
and
products.
Then there's just so much presentation for that too.
Yeah.
All right, we are just wrapping up this farm tour. I have to tell you, I've learned so much about organic farming today. I thought I knew a little bit. I didn't know anything. I've learned a lot. So thank you to Pauline, who's at the helm of this, and to Grace. And Christina, we left at the other farm. She had to take care of the littles, but she's a big part of this. Go and find them on Instagram, give them a follow, and see what they grow here. Until next time, keep cooking. Welcome back. That was a great tour. Thank you, Pauline, Christina, and Grace, for showing us around. Our chicken pot pie with leeks and thyme is now out of the oven. It took about 20 minutes in total at 400 degrees, and now I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes before I cut into it. Take a look at the puff pastry, how it has come to a golden brown. You can see the filling around the outside. It smells delicious. I'm thinking I could have also added some sage. As I'm smelling it, I'm thinking sage. You can smell the leeks, you can smell the thyme. So around the edges has to just solidify again, and then we're going to cut into it with a nice crispy fresh salad, and you've got a meal. Like I said, I took the bones from the chicken, I took the leftover leek, leftover carrots, some salt, some pepper, celery, thyme, and I've now got some stock starting to simmer away. Don't waste any food. Thank you so much to the O'Briens for taking us on their tour and taking us on their property. Thanks for tuning in today and watching us make this pot pie. The recipe is coming up after this video. Try and make this one skillet. It's good. Until then, keep cooking.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.